Hi, this is Myra with Boutique Paint. I'm working on a Halloween t-shirt today, and we're going to be using bleach to bleach through our stencil. And the stencil is our Halloween signs from Boutique Paint Design, which is our own designs. And what I did is I started by taping off the letters up here so that if there's any overspray of the bleach, it won't get on the trick or treat. And I'm going to take the stencil and I'm going to take a piece of cardboard and put it behind it. And I'm just going to glue up, well, not glue up, I'm going to put adhesive. It's adhesive that is formulated for stencils. And so you can put it on and then you can pull it off when you're done. And then you can reuse it again if there's enough sticky stuff left on it. You can use it a couple times. So we designed this to be super easy to use a brush. We found that spraying, every time I sprayed, the tip gets gummed up. And I've tried all kinds of tricks and I couldn't come up with anything that really worked well. And then I came across these and I thought, this is what I want. This is super simple and easy. So I let this dry, or you can take a hair dryer and quickly dry it. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to set this aside so I can get the rest of the t-shirt ready. I've folded the t-shirt in half, and I'm going to take a pencil, or you could take a piece of chalk also, especially on black. This pen disappears in 24 to 48 hours. And we just kind of need to know where the center is, and I'm really hoping this will show up. Now we're going to open it up. Chalk would definitely work well on a dark shirt. So the stencil is dry, and we want to be down about 2 inches or so from the neckline. This neckline kind of goes a little bit higher, about the collarbone height. So you want to go down about 2 inches. Of course, I did it so I can't see where my 2 inches are, but I'm going to eyeball it here. I also did not mark yet where is center on my stencil, so let's do that real quick. I'll go ahead and mark it with a pencil, and this is 11.5 inches. So and I always check side to side to make sure my math is right. It does need scooting over just a smidge. Neckline's there. That's, I think I want it just up a smidge more. All right. Now, I did dry this with the hair dryer, the adhesive, just to speed it up. You want it so it's tacky. And if you have any leftover glue, once you lift the stencil, it will wash out. So don't worry about it. And I even got a little bit extra on the front, which really doesn't matter either. So I am going to put some tape. Now what you could do is you could also cut, some plastic to put around this so that it doesn't, any of the oversplash doesn't get on the shirt, which doesn't matter a lot because I am going to spray again once I'm done. I'm going to do a really light misting, I think. But we'll see. Sometimes I change my mind. Sometimes I do it and then it's like, oh, that looks good the way it is. And just leave it. Sometimes less is more, right? So I'm just going to tape it. The taping is not necessarily to keep the stencil down, but you can do it that way. You don't necessarily have to use the glue for this particular project. I am, because I want to see how much bleeds through, just in case there is some bleed through. So I'm pretty sure if you spray straight down, it'll be okay. So I think we're good there. I'm going to put a board on the inside, a piece of cardboard, so that it doesn't spray all the way through the back and you have a reverse of your stencil on the back. Would it be reverse? I think it would be. Not on the inside though. Anyway, so I'm going to take this outside and get it ready to spray. So I'm outside now, and I've got a piece of foam core from the dollar store in my shirt, but any old piece of cardboard will work. And I've got my bleach, and this is just, and I wrote on the outside here, this is just regular bleach. It's not watered down, it's not anything, just bleach. And I marked it because I also have hydrogen peroxide. So when we're done bleaching it, we get the color we want, then what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to spray hydrogen peroxide on it to stop the bleaching process and stop it from breaking down the fibers of the shirt. So we're going to spray directly over. We don't want to spray at an angle, we want to spray straight down, and we're just going to spritz it. And this is a fine mist bottle that I've got. And you can do this in your bathroom. I would just suggest that you have, windows open, fans on. You could do it in your bathtub. But, it's better if you have oh, sorry, I'm not even showing what I'm doing. It's better if you have a covered, oh, I got a bee too. A covered area if it's raining outside. And also it's better if you put it in the sun, it'll activate faster. So I'm just kind of soaking this. I'm trying to hold it straight, the camera straight, and do this. Usually I have a tripod. So I did the sign up there, and then I'm going to do a witch down here at the hem. And this is our elements, Halloween elements stencil. And the wind is blowing, of course. Not helpful. It is 80 degrees on October, I think it's the 11th today, which is very unusual for us. We've had beautiful 80-degree days in October, which is wonderful because we had a late start to our summer. All right, so those are done. So we're just gonna wait and let them process. They'll go through a couple different color changes. They'll go kind of a orange red, then they'll, I think, a kind of a yellow, and then white. So you can stop it at any point in time in the process. It just depends on what you want in this and what you want it to look like. So we will give it some time. You can kind of see it. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of changing color already. It's very slight. So we'll come back in a little bit and check. Okay, so now we're to the point where it's kind of on the orangish side. Whoops. And you can see there's a few spots that are a little bit more bleached than the other, and that's kind of the effect I was wanting. This up here is taking a little bit longer, so I might spray it again. And I also might move it into the sun. So I'm going to attempt to take this off one-handed. Sorry about the shadow. My board flipped over because the wind is so strong out here. And so I know some bleach got in places that I didn't want it when it flipped. I'm just going to go ahead and take the tape off. And then lift this. Toss that down. So I've got some spots here, and I got some bleed through that came through the tape, but overall I am happy with it. I can always take like a Sharpie and touch those up. There is a little bit bleed through, and I'm okay with that also. Let's see how oh yeah, the witch turned out really cool. Really, really cool. All right, so I chose to do the orange, stop it when it's turning orange here. I'm going to take the rest of the tape off, and then we will just add a little bit of more of this dotting, I think. So on this part, I'm gonna actually go upside down here. I still got a shadow. I'm going to spray, and if you used a spray bottle that wasn't such a fine mist, it might work better. The other thing to do is you can just crunch this up and spray it, so you kind of get, you know, waves of the spray. I'm gonna just try this by holding it a little bit further back and misting. And just kind of, I'm just doing quick. And of course I've got the wind assist here. It is so windy. Okay, we're gonna see how that turns out in a little bit and see that, got everything going every which direction. So to get a little bit bigger dots, I'm just taking the plastic thing out and I'm just kind of flicking it so I get more bigger dots now on it. You can kind of see a little bit of the orange. It's not really doing what I was hoping, so I'm kind of hoping that these bigger dots will give me more of the effect I'm wanting. So on this next part, what I did is I took little pieces of the fabric and I just kind of twisted them. Sorry for the shadowing. Twisted it kind of like that and then misted it again. And this is the effect I got, which is kind of cool. And it gives it a little bit more texture. I also did it on the sleeves a little bit. This sleeve didn't turn out quite as much, so I'm probably going to try that again. But this sleeve turned out pretty good. So overall, I'm happy with the way it turned out. It's definitely the orange and black that I was wanting. I'll take better pictures of it here too. Before I'm done with the process, I do want to take my hydrogen peroxide and I'm going to spray down where the bleach has been, and because I kind of bleached the whole thing, I'll spray the whole thing and just so it neutralizes the bleach. I'm still going to do the sleeve over here, so I'm not going to do the whole thing at this time. One of the nice things about a project like this is there's no really big way to screw it up. I mean, there's some imperfections, but that kind of goes with a Halloween theme, so it's fun. You can do it with the kids. I love the way this witch turned out, especially with a little bit of the dots in it where it's bleached out a little bit more. That is super fun. If you have any questions about any of the products we used in this video, you can go to our website at www.boutiquepaint.com. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.